In the most predictable of predictable outcomes, we have this. Check this out and I'll be right back.
And I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
Saw is one of literally hundreds of farmers crying and whining about what's happened to their family businesses over the course of the last 8 months. The rest of what I'm going to say applies directly to the 75% of that community, farmers, ranchers, or agricultural people who voted for the 80-year-old diapered dementia patient. The 25% of you who actually learned the lesson from the first time around, feel free to scroll along. This reaction that all of you are having is what I call entitlement. It's entitlement because you feel that you're owed to be saved. And yet you are the same people that were pointing fingers at every marginalized community and telling them that you shouldn't be living off of the government teat. You shouldn't be living off of handouts. Never mind that these people were working just as hard, if not harder, for, far less than what you were given. You've lived off of generations of handouts, and you feel like because you were born on third base, you hit a triple. And now all of those supports are being taken away, and you feel like some grand injustice has been done to you. You're just getting a taste of what marginalized communities have been living under for centuries. Let that sink in. This is normal for the vast majority of people who look like me, the vast majority of people who are in the Black community. You've just been too ignorant and blind and stupid to actually pay attention and give a shit. So now that you're actually getting a taste of that medicine, you feel like you've been wronged and the universe is set up against you. And you expect the guy, and you're demanding the guy that did this to you to come save you. How stupid does that sound? That is the height of entitlement. That is the height of privilege. That is the height of ignorance. And it's all of those things that led you to this point. It's all of those things that drove you to vote for the guy in the first place. And if you're still stuck in that pattern where you think this guy's going to save you, you're even dumber than I thought you was. Now, when I said that this is the most predictable of predictable outcomes, I really mean it. This is proof again of how expensive racism is, because it's not like what you just saw or what you've been experiencing is new. In fact, you had a taste of this the first go around. In the first Trump term, the guy who has been bankrupt more times than anybody cares to remember nearly bankrupted the agricultural sector, and it resulted in one of the biggest bailouts in history. We warned you about this the second go around, but you and all of your other idiot friends thought it was a good idea to run that same playbook back. And now look at you. You're crying and bitching about losing everything when this was utterly predictable. In fact, we even pointed out that people in this administration had major stakes in apps and businesses that were set up to profit off of you losing everything. And the reality of it is that I'm having a hard time finding sympathy for any of you. I'm having a hard time feeling sad or feeling empathy to a group of people who were perfectly fine just a handful of months ago, screaming to anybody that would listen that you're getting exactly what you voted for. Well, guess what? Now you're getting exactly what you voted for. And the only way that you people will learn your lesson is if you lose every damn dime and you're out on the street. And then you can look down and pull yourselves up by those bootstraps that you keep telling everyone else to use. See, the lesson here is pretty simple. Those of you, the Mayo sapien crowd who happen to be in agriculture, in farming and ranching and all those related industries, you've spoken with the confidence, the unearned confidence that is typical of the entire Mayo sapien crowd. You've had generations of handouts that you've lived off of. And now that those handouts are going away, you feel like you've been wronged. You know what that feeling is? That's the feeling of entitlement. Because every other demographic that has come to this country has built themselves without the aid of all those handouts. And all the while, your overlords have been pointing the finger at everybody else, saying that those people were the ones that are stealing from you. The lesson here is pretty simple. All of you needed to be humbled, and you're getting that humbling right now. And this might be the only opportunity where you legitimately learn your actual lesson. And that lesson is pretty simple. The 1% have stolen from you, and until you realize that they are your enemy and not anyone that looks like me, maybe you'll finally get it. Maybe you'll stop bitching and complaining about how someone who's working a minimum wage job shouldn't be allowed to buy soda using food stamps. That's not the problem. It's the billions of dollars that are being given to entitled, lazy people like you. That's the problem. It's the billions of dollars that's being given to the defense sector and all the consultants and the 1%. That's the problem. So until you realize that, I don't have any patience for you, and you will get zero sympathy from me. The only way that you might even be able to redeem yourself is if you strap on all of that made in China red hat bullshit and waddle yourself down to Washington, D.C. And let's see a sequel to J6, this time where it actually matters. Until you do something like that, you can fuck right off, and not just a little bit of the way. You can fuck all the way off.